Searching for a luxury new construction home in Los Angeles with modern design, flexible living space, and a gated community lifestyle? Welcome to the Vermont Elite model home by Toll Brothers, part of the Silverstone collection at Metro Heights in Montebello, California. This stunning 3,095 square foot home features 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, and a highly functional open layout perfect for today's lifestyle, whether you're working from home, entertaining, or just looking for more room to live. If you're looking for new construction homes in Los Angeles, or it's something by Toll Brothers, luxury homes in LA County, or a move-in ready option in a gated master plan community, this Los Angeles luxury new construction home tour is for you. Hey, I'm Scott Himelstein with the Scott Himelstein Group, and today we are back in Montebello, California in the Metro Heights Master Plan Community. Now, this Master Plan Community has approximately about 1,200 different home sites. There are 2 builders, there's Lennar and Toll Brothers. Now, we previously featured from the Viewpoint collection from Toll Brothers, the Apex model home. Now, today we're gonna be looking at the Silverstone collection, and in particular, the Vermont Elite, and that's the one right behind me. That one's 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, 2,920 square feet of living space, and I'm going to show you how you can get it up to 3,095 square feet of living space, and that's really how you want to have it look, and you'll understand why when we go inside. So this one's actually 4 stories, and that includes a rooftop terrace, which you don't see very often unless you live pretty much in downtown Los Angeles. And speaking of downtown Los Angeles, you're only about 10 miles away from downtown. So I think that's one of the biggest appeals of the Metro Heights Master Plan community. A lot of times people want more space, newer construction, more modern amenities, and to kind of really be part of a community. And that's really what you have here. They want to be close to the hustle and bustle, so to speak, but they don't want to be right smack dab in the middle of it. And I think this is a great alternative. And obviously vertical living right now, very popular here when it comes to new construction in the greater Los Angeles area. Living at Metro Heights, it's all about resort style luxury. And it truly is, if you really think about it, a one-of-a-kind lifestyle that's going to await you at Metro Heights. And that's because they have so much to offer here, including the 3.5 acre, 10,000 square foot plus recreation center called The Club. They have multiple pools, spas, private cabanas, even a state-of-the-art fitness center. And this is all included in your HOA dues. Plus there's indoor and outdoor social spaces, outdoor kitchen, fireplaces, barbecues, multiple event spaces, and even an event lawn. There's a children play space, a 5.8 acre public park, 7 pocket parks, open space, and there's a scenic promenade and 6 trails. All right, let's turn around, get this home tour started, have a lot to show you today. So again, this is the Vermont Elite, and we're looking from the exterior right now like we always do. This is the contemporary craftsman elevation, the facing on it. They have a total of 3 different elevations. You have the modern, the coastal contemporary, and the contemporary craftsman. Now, me personally, I actually like the contemporary craftsman probably the best. You got that tile facing right here, the stucco on top, and then unlike the Viewpoint, right, which had that wood facade almost, but it was really a tile. This is actually real wood. So it's a little different, and I think it just kind of gives it some more character in my opinion. Now, in here in the front, a lot of this landscaping is going to be taken care of by the builder themselves. That'll be included in the HOA. And when we get inside, I'm gonna give you all the details about what you need to know about this community. You do have a 2-car garage. You're also able to park in the driveway, right? 2 different cars. So, you know, if it's raining outside, a majority of your car will be dry too. And, you know, a lot of people these days want to be able to utilize their garage for storage, and you can definitely do that here. And just a nice little small touch. Look at that recessed lighting right there on top to give you that extra lighting, you know, in those evening hours when you're coming out to your car. Let's go inside to continue this home tour. So we're inside the bottom level. This is the first of the 4 levels that we are going to check out. Again, this is the Vermont Elite, and this is one of 6 different floor plans that are available as part of the Silverstone collection by Toll Brothers at Metro Heights. Now, one of the first things you're going to notice here on the wall, you know, they have these designer features on them, but like I always tell you guys, that the home will be delivered to you basically with drywall and paint. You do have an access point to enter the backyard. We'll show you that towards the end of the video. And on this level, one of your 4 bedrooms is literally right here. So you see the luxury vinyl plank flooring that we're gonna see throughout most of this home. This is a pretty good sized bedroom, perfect for a guest suite if you're having people come on over. And then you have the sliding stackable doors right here. That is actually standard with this floor plan. And then over to your left over here, you're gonna have your private attached bathroom as well. You're gonna have your sliding closet doors, and then you'll make your way straight over to your private bathroom for this downstairs bedroom. Now here you're going to see the white cabinetry, black handles, black faucet, and you're going to see the same also right here in your shower enclosure. Notice how they're able to, with the small square tiles in the shower enclosure, able to give a color contrast right there. So you have the designer tile. All of this is going to be an upgrade if it's something that you wanted to do. So again, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, and access to the backyard from this bedroom. And then as you leave this bedroom, you're going to have your garage, and we'll open that up for you just to get a sneak peek, your 2-car garage. Now this is the model home, so it's very common for the builder to store a lot of paint and different things, but you can see the tankless water heater in there, and the epoxy finish on the garage flooring as well. All right, let's make our way up to the first level. There are approximately 100 home sites in the Silverstone collection. So that kind of is the case for all the different collections here at Metro Heights by Toll Brothers. There are approximately 30 to 35 of the Vermont Elite floor plan. And one of the things we're going to show you again up on this level is how we got from 2,920 square feet to 3,095 square feet. Now you have this large open great room, that really easy flow between the kitchen and the casual dining area right here on this level. Let's start off with your kitchen first. Now here you're gonna have your waterfall edge. That is an upgrade if you want that waterfall edge on your island. This is where your sink basin is going to be. It's also an upgrade if you want that 2¼ inch thick quartz countertops that you see here on this portion of the kitchen. You have your ambient lighting underneath. This is the standard appliance package for this floor plan. This is the KitchenAid appliances. You have your built-in microwave, your freestanding range, stainless steel dishwasher, and the refrigerator is also currently included on this floor plan. Now let's take a look at the cabinetry, because I always tell all of our clients that it makes sense that if you're going to spend money on a structural upgrade, one of them that it really should be is the cabinetry, going from basically right here at the kitchen counter all the way to the ceiling. And you know, it runs, I would say, anywhere from about $10,000 to $20,000 depending on the community you're looking at with Toll Brothers. But to me, I think it's a staple. I think people really like it. I think it really makes a huge difference when it comes to resale when you're looking at buying a home with Toll Brothers. And so here, it's nice, you can actually be able to see what it looks like as the standard package. Now, what's also an upgrade is going to be the glass. So if you wanted the glass doors on your cabinetry, that would be a specific upgrade. And then over there, that's gonna be the glass door where you're gonna be entering into your pantry. Now, if we turn around, look, you have a room for 3 chairs, 3 bar stools right here at your kitchen. Take a look at the lighting. I do love the lighting, but again, this is not an option with Toll Brothers. You will have to pick out your own lighting. They will leave the spot in place to install the fixture of your choice. Now, going over to your left, This is where you're gonna have your living room. And one thing I always talk about this, like Toll Brothers does a great job of staging their model homes where you're really being able to delineate different spaces. So because of how they have the sofa set up, you're able to kind of see the difference in the space from the kitchen and then all the way over to the conservatory, which is right over here to your left. Now on this conservatory, normally if you were, let's just say for example, on the Melrose Elite, right? You have this covered deck is what they use as the official terminology for that. And here I like it because this is how you literally get from that 2,920 square feet to the 3,095 square feet. And in all honesty, you know, if you had a covered deck, you're literally just gonna be looking at your neighbor's house anyways. So if it was me, I would prefer to literally have this enclosed and make this kind of like an extra family room sitting area. Now the cabinetry and the built-ins over here, the shelving, that's something you would have to do after the close of escrow. That's gonna be given to you basically as a blank slate. You'd have to have your contractor come in right afterwards. Now, something that is an option is you can get this a fireplace as an option. To me, I don't know if it's necessarily the best use of money spent. I think it does look beautiful, but that being said, I think that there's other ways where you might be able to spend it better when it comes to structural and design upgrades. All right, so the last part of this great room, before we show you the last two rooms on this level, is going to be your formal dining room. So you could easily put a huge table here and have plenty of space right here to sit at the island counter for sure. And then you have all that natural light coming in to this room. And then right behind that, you're going to have a flex room. Now this is not a bedroom, right? And Toll Brothers synonymous when I think of when it comes to flex rooms. And the flex room is great because you can use it as an office like they have staged here, a homework area, maybe you want a gym, a yoga studio, right? A play area if you have small kids, right? Try to keep all the toys in one small area. So there's one last room over here, and that's gonna be your half bathroom, right? So we told you that this floor plan has 3.5 bathrooms, and we showed you one full bathroom down below, and then you're gonna have this half bathroom. Now they have the designer wallpaper in this half bathroom. Again, drywall and paint is gonna be how it comes to you. Scott Himelstein with the Scott Himelstein Group. So what do you think of the Vermont Elite model home so far? Love to get your thoughts about that. So when it comes to new construction, I always say that you really have to be armed with the right information before you walk in, even just to the sales office, to go see what the model home looks like, if it's the right fit for you. And there's a lot of questions that you really need to ask the builder, right? For starters, you know, what's the build out time, right? What are some of the hidden fees that you may not actually be accustomed to that might be different than resale, right? A lot of people don't know that in many cases with new construction, you as the buyer have to pay all of your property taxes for that 1 year annually up front in your closing costs, right? And that can easily be, you know, $12,000 to $15,000, $17,000 depending on the sales price of your new construction home. How much should you be spending on structural and design upgrades? What things are standard? How do you negotiate incentives, right? These are all things that I like to talk about with my clients. And right now, just because of where the market is right now, you're seeing the builders work with buyers and give out a lot more incentives right now. So I think if that's something that you're interested in, reach out. I really do enjoy holding everybody's hand through the whole entire process, right? From having the contract written, right? And again, I don't work for the builder. I work for you directly. That's really important to keep in mind. You don't pay me a cent. So if you really think about it, right, there's no reason not to actually hire me because it doesn't cost you a dime, not even a penny. Not even a Chuck E. Cheese coin if they even still have those, right? So any of that. So, you know, this is why I'm there with you, right? From contract to being with you at the design center, right? Picking out what upgrades make sense, and then really just for the contract, deciding what structural upgrades are going to make sense for you long-term when it comes to resale. And then design upgrades. Like, does it make sense to have cabinetry that goes all the way from floor to ceiling, like we've talked about in so many videos? These are the type of questions. And then also be there for the framing, right? In case a lot of times you'll see what happens is what you see in the model home, the city or the county may require require the builder to make changes, and so now it's something different. Now you have to kind of negotiate because maybe you've already given a deposit, right, to have that particular upgrade already in place. And these are just some of the things that I've seen over the years. But at the end of the day, I'm here to help and serve you, and I really get a lot of enjoyment, and that's why I've been blessed to have over 230 5-star reviews online, and I'd love to be able to help you. All right, let's get back to the home tour. All right, let's make our way over to the next level, and we're gonna go upstairs, give you more information about the community. So the dues are gonna be approximately $299 a month, and that's gonna cover the maintenance and the operation of the common areas, and that includes the entry monuments, the gated entry, the recreation area, and the common area, landscaping, things such as that. And then when it comes to your estimated property taxes, I'd say the current base tax rate is approximately 1.35% with an estimated annual special assessment of $1,000. Now, obviously that's gonna be a lot better than what you see a lot of times in northern LA County and places like Castaic or Santa Clarita, where it's not uncommon to find your tax rate as a result to having Melrose to about 1.8, 1.9%. And then if you're wondering where your schools are gonna be, well, you're gonna have Potrero Elementary School, kindergarten through 5th, Macy Intermediate School, 6 through 8, and then you're gonna have Schur High School, which will be 9 through 10. Now, as you come up off the staircase, I like how you kind of have this loft, the sitting area, right? And you know, if it was here, this would be a fun place to play some games with the family, right? You probably wouldn't have like so much of it as an eating area, although my kids probably would love to have it as an eating area, right? Because you're a little ways from the kitchen. But I think it's just a neat little space, right? Where you could probably put in an office if you needed to, if that's what would be most beneficial to you. All right, so we're gonna look at a couple of bedrooms on this side before we go into the primary bedroom and suite. So over here, you're gonna have your laundry room. And look, if you think about it, common sense, right? You're gonna have 3 bedrooms on this level. You'd wanna have your washer and dryer. Otherwise, you're gonna be getting a heck of a lot of cardio, bringing up your laundry and bringing it down. So the cabinetry to your right over here, that is an upgrade if it's something that you wanted. I do like the black hexagonal tile on the flooring here. It goes with the sink, which has a black countertop. And it's just, in my honest opinion, it's just a nice kind of contrast from all the luxury vinyl plank flooring that you're seeing in this floor plan. So we'll continue over here. Let's talk about solar too, because remember in the state of California, new construction is required to give you a solar system. Here it's a 4 kilowatt system by Solar Run. And I would say, you know, in this collections, not just here in Silverstone, but in all the collections, I'd say most of it kind of runs from about 120 to about 200. So it really just depends on the floor plan and the collection that you actually happen to be looking at. If you wanted to get on the waiting list here, reach out to me. I can tell you how to do that. For starters, usually one of the first things you need to do is you'll have to fill out a questionnaire. I can instruct you how to do that, number 1. And then number 2, you'll have to get approved by Toll Brothers Mortgage, or if you're paying all cash, you would have to provide proof of funds. And then I can also kind of talk to you about some of the incentives that the builders are going to be offering as well. So that's the first step before you actually enter into contract. And when you enter into contract, you are required to actually give a 10% deposit. So let's enter now the primary bedroom and bath. So this is your primary suite right here, a room for a pretty large bed. And then I like how they have it here. Again, this is just going to be given to you with drywall and paint, but I do like the floating nightstands on this, something that you don't see very often. Again, this is something that your contractor would have to do, and we work with a lot of great contractors that could easily do this for you. Look at like how you kind of have that wood finish and accent lighting right there along your wall behind the headboard of the bed. So let's go into the primary bathroom right now and show you a few things. So in this bathroom, you are going to have the really large shower enclosure, and then you also have the sitting bench too. So you have the 2 shower heads right there. One of them is obviously can be handheld. You have the designer tile. And then take a look at this. Like, again, this is what you're seeing in new construction right now. You're not seeing crazy bold colors. Everything's very neutral. Everything's very light on the eyes, right? With your square tiles, very similar color to your tile flooring in the bathroom itself. And then you have that designer tile with the gray veins inside of it, right? And then if you take a look, come over here, again, you have your upgraded quartz countertop and designer sinks. And then again, look, you have that gray and just a little bit of brown, a hint of gold. And that's perfectly right here. You have dual sinks on this vanity, white cabinetry, black handles on the vanity here in your private bathroom. And then if you go straight ahead, this is where you're going to have right here your walk-in closet. In this walk-in closet, you're gonna have to have somebody after the close of escrow basically help you with the custom built-ins. We have a couple of contractors that specialize in that. So if that's something that you need help with, definitely reach out to us. All right, so let's leave this room right here and let's make our way up to the 4th level. So currently they're in phase 3 right now, and they'll probably have probably more than 10 phases. And what we're seeing right now is, especially at the time of shooting this video, they're releasing approximately between 5 to 10 homes during each phase. So if there's a particular home site that you want, then it's a good possibility it might be at a later phase. So let's go outside. Now we're going to be going outside to this rooftop terrace. Now, one thing I always like to talk about, because I think it can be really deceiving if you're not ready for it, is that there are a lot of times you're going to see a lot premium assigned. Basically, you know, maybe the lot's a corner lot, maybe it's a view home lot, or has more square footage on the lot itself, not talking about the interior space. So a lot of times, right, you'll have to pay more for certain home sites. Well, here in the Silverstone collection, there are no view homes. And I wanted to bring that up because we're here at the model home, but below us, they're gonna be building some of the homes in the Viewpoint collection right below us. Once those are all built out, you're not gonna have this same view that you currently do if you were to purchase this model home. So I wanted to be fully transparent about that. So where it comes to larger lots and corner lots, that's where you're gonna have your lot premium here in this collection. Now, when I mean larger lots, it's not going to be significantly larger because most of the lots here in this collection range between 3,000 to 5,000. And I'd say most of them are kind of in that 3,000 to 3,200 square foot range. And then obviously I think, you know, the corner lots, because you're going to have one less neighbor. Now, these are technically condominiums in a planned unit development. That's how they're going to show up on title, but they're really detached family homes in a planned unit development. So they're really like single family homes in a planned unit development with a homeowners association, if that makes sense. So just something to think about, but pretty cool to have a rooftop terrace regardless of the view. This is the door that we just came through to enter into the backyard living space. Obviously we're on the first level here. And then I wanted to show you a few things in this space because, again, your lot size is going to be around approximately 3,000 square feet. But a lot of times you see these completely decked out backyards and they are gorgeous, right? This is all going to be delivered to you as dirt. But I wanted to kind of give you an idea that, you know, sometimes you don't have to put in this fancy tile and pavers, right? And what a lot of people do is a lot of times they'll put in maybe some strips or sections of artificial turf, and you'll see a lot of concrete. But look at this. This is something really small, and right, you want to be able to maximize your space. And so look, you put in a nice table here, right? And because of how it's angled, you still have space to walk through right here. And so you don't lose all this space over here, right, to the table when you were to come out just from the bedroom. And then you have a nice gas fire pit over there, right? I don't know if I would probably have the fountain if it was me designing it, but then you got all this exterior lighting here, right? Landscape lighting that's really beautiful too. Again, this is going to come to you as a dirt lot. This is not something you can customize with the builder. So it's something that you should have in your budget. And depending on what you do, right, this could easily be something that's $50,000, or it could be something that's $200,000. I would say something in this space probably isn't going to be $200,000, but it really depends on the materials and the look that you're going after. But I just wanted to show you, again, it's not a huge space. And to be honest, most of the people looking at this type of new construction home want low maintenance. They're not looking for a huge backyard because they're working professionals, and a lot of them are looking to be really close to downtown and spend their time there, but they want to be living in a newer space. Scott Himelstein with the Scott Himelstein Group. If you haven't already, hey, please take the time, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Like, we're always showcasing new construction homes here in the greater Los Angeles area, basically remodeled home tours every single week, and plus with some really critical market updates, what's really happening in real time here in the Los Angeles real estate market. Well, I'd love to know what you think of this Vermont Elite model home, part of the Silverstone collection by Toll Brothers in Metro Heights in Montebello, California. So let me know what you think of this master plan community. Is this something that you'd be interested in? Really, like this vertical living, 4 stories, including that rooftop terrace. That's pretty cool. And the conservatory right behind me, something that you definitely don't see every day. And then again, we talked about before what it takes to be able to get on the waiting list right now and be approved by Toll Brothers. So in case there's a home site that you may like, that's something that I can really assist and guide you through it. I understand that most people looking, whether it be new construction or resale, have so many things going on in their normal day-to-day life that the more I can take off your plate and be the intermediary and work with you. I have a relationship with the builders. I don't work for the builders, but because we've worked with them so many times, I can literally basically call them up on their cell phone and say, hey, what type of incentives do you have this week? Or is this home site available right now? Even if it's a day that the builder might actually be closed. And that's something that you really, everybody wants information in real time. And that's something I'm able to provide to you working with you. So if you have any questions about new construction, definitely reach out to me, or whether you're buying resale also, or just remodeling questions, always glad to be your source of real estate. I'm Scott Himelstein with the Scott Himelstein Group, and we'll see you on the next new construction home tour.